Hello, quality control technician. How you doing this morning? Guess what we're doing? We're doing the spokes on the front wheel. How good is that? Should we crack on? Yeah? Good boy. No, you got to stay there. Yeah. Yeah. You silly bugger. Go and sit down. Right, let's tell everybody what's going on. I'm going to use my tripod today to film what's going on the axle stand. So a couple of axle stands, axle, doesn't matter what it is. Got to unwrap the wheel rim yet, and here's the front and rear tyres, front rear. There's the rear wheel already done, so I will need my hub, my nipples. Let's tip them out. They're a little bit on the scabby side, but they'll be alright, even if I have to use an artist brush afterwards just to go over them with a bit of Galv paint or something. Toolage, I've got a spoke spanner. These are on eBay. To be honest, I think they made it out of toffee, because these jaws open up. If you know, when I was trying to rescue the old spokes, these kept opening up and I had to keep crunching this in the vise. So fantastic tool with all the different set sizes on there, but they could have made it out of some stronger material. I've managed to find this, a little 5.5mm spanner, which fits them nipples perfectly, and a good old-fashioned, what your granddad's got in his toolbox, big large ended flat screwdriver. There we go, to do up those spokes. I've got a bit of Galv spray, like I say, and what I'm going to be doing with that is just spraying around the rim when it's all completed, just to cover up those bare patches of steel, because these are aftermarket rims after all said and done. Okay, so basically we have innie and outie spokes. Now by that I mean one spoke is inside and one spoke is outside, okay? And you have 36 spokes in total, so 18 are ins and 18 are outs. If you can remember, when I was rescuing these spokes, one snapped. Innie snapped. Sorry, an outie. No, it's an innie. So innies are 90 degrees. If I'm right to say it. No. Innies. Oh, where are we? Do you know, I'm not 100% sure. Oh, yeah. The slightly more angled are innies, and the 90 degrees are outies, because they're slightly wider and they have to sort of come out and bend back around again, so you need that extra little bit of length there. Ooh, misses, don't we all? So I have 18 innies, 17 outies, and 1 sent from David Silver Spares. It's the nearest they could get, bless them. It's you can see that my gauge spokes are just a couple of mil longer, and the gauge is thicker, which means the thickness of the spoke itself is. Now, whether or not these are rear spokes and I'm fitting them on the front, and this is actually what the thickness of the front spoke should be, but to me that looks like a blimmin' paper straw. That looks so thin. So I am happy I'm putting stronger gauge spokes on the new front wheel, so I'm happy with that. So there we go. I've got 2 rim tapes, I have 2 inner tubes. I will have hopefully 2 laced wheels, and I'm going to take all that lot up to see my mate Trevor, and he will hopefully get the tubes in the tyres on the rims and blown up for me without puncturing the tubes, because that's why I'm taking them to him. Because me, I will probably nick one and get my knickers in a twist, and that's the end of that anyway. I hope you've all recovered from Kevin's rendition yesterday, or well, on the last video, should I say. Well, it was yesterday for me, but yes, I am a Philistine. I was told it was the Floyds, when in actual fact it was Mr. Lynyrd Skynyrd, wasn't it? Of course it was. I knew that, but I didn't want to look a Burke, did I? But I ended up looking a Burke, egg on face. Call myself a DJ. I don't know. Anyway, right, wish me luck. I'm going to get started, and I'll record literally everything so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Right, let's get that rim unwrapped. Okay, here's the rim. As you can see, if I just explain this a little bit, you have offset holes facing different ways, like these two holes, one's left, one's right, facing that way, and these two, look, one's offset this way and one's offset towards me, facing that way. So it's this way, that way, this way, that way, and that goes all the way around the rim. That's because it fits in with that pattern of the spokes. There's the two going that way, there's the two going this way, so on, so forth, so on, so forth. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I will put the hub on the axle. That's sorted. Both rims are identical in actual fact. They're both 17-inch rims for this particular bike, so you can't really go wrong. The spokes are all the same size. I mean, that spoke's the same size as one of these spokes, so it's not an issue. 153mm if you want to know the spec on them. Right, so I will start off, and I will probably do like the outies. I will put the 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I'll put the 9 outies on just to get the rim, the rim on the hub effectively. When I first did a video a couple of episodes back, you'll see that I had all the spokes in the hub, and then I tried to fit it onto the rim. Well, that's because the spokes were too flipping long. These spokes are short enough so you can lace them and put them through the wheel as you go, which is an awful lot easier, believe me. Okay, so let's get the hub on the axles, and we'll go from there. If you look at this outie there, follow it along. It obviously goes to a right hand this side, and that's the right hand that side for the other side of the hub. So you stick it in, and then you go 1, 2, 3, spoke, 1, 2, 3, out, outie, 1, 2, 3, outie, 1, 2, 3, outie, 1, 2, 3, outie, and so on until you've got your 9 outies in, and then flip it over and do the same on the other side. Right, enough waffling easy, do something. Right, major stumbling block straight away. What is that I hear you cry? Well, it's this generic rim. You see, these holes are 6mm. Okay, now I don't know whether that's just because most nipples are 6mm or 5.5 6mm, because those ones were, weren't they? Those ones I acquired. Anyway, my nipples. Sorry, I had a couple of glasses of wine last night. My nipples are 6.5mm. Therefore, they won't go in the holes. They just won't go in any of the holes. So I have to open them up. Ooh, I'll tell you what, it's a bit kinky this time of the morning, isn't it? Hence the Galv spray, because once you start drilling and taking off that top layer of chrome, or top layer, the very thin layer of chrome in there, that's prone to rust, isn't it? That's why you see some restored bikes, you know, year or two down the line with all rusty bits here. Not good. So I am going to literally, let's see if I can get this, follow the angle of the holes. Don't just go straight in. Follow the angles that they're aiming at, and just literally tease them. That's going that way. Okay, and once you've done that, your nipples should go through. I'm not opening it up to 7mm. No way, that's a 6.5mm drill. That's very tight. So let's just have a bit more of a play on there. Right, let's see how that is. That's still tight. Blimey, Charlie. Anyway, I'm going to have a proper go at this. Give me a sec. Okay, take 2. I've now circumnavigated this wheel rim with a 6.5mm drill bit, gently opening up these holes to enable my nipples to fit in. Okay, now to be fair, this is a wheel rim from Mr. David Silver Spares. This is a nipple from a spoke for this wheel from David Silver Spares, and this wouldn't go through the hole either. So I've had to do a bit of a modification. Just count your way around 36 holes, gently sort of rotating the drill, because it's just a bit bigger than 6.5, to be honest. It's probably like 6.8. It's not quite 7. So I didn't want to use a 7mm drill bit just for the obvious reasons of strength. But now that spoke nipple goes in there like so. Okay, right. I'm going to get a couple of spokes in place just to hold the rim central on the hub, and then we'll start lacing and I'll show you how to do it. Today, God, I never work with kids and animals or anything metallic. If it's got tits or tyres, it's trouble, isn't it? Bang on. Right, let's get on with it. Right, although it looks fairly done, it's not fairly done. Top tip, well, the only way to do it is to put the innies, the spokes that go on the inside, put them in first. Otherwise, if you go around putting the outies in, these are the outies, the 90-degree ones, if you start doing that, then you have to take the innies back out, the outies back out to get the innies in. Okay, so basically here's your last spoke. You do 1 2 3, 1 2 3, nipple. Just keep going around in threes and the whole thing should sort of start to take a little bit of shape. At the moment it's still a little bit on the hookedy crook side. Let's do that and that. A couple of these. Is that one holding it back? Yeah, that's the one that's holding it back. It's quite it is a fiddly job, and you need plenty of patience. I've just been and murdered somebody at the door because I got my knickers in a twist. No. Right, so outie, because you're going out with it. Okay, there's the old one, so you count 1 2 3 nipples, and this one goes in the fourth, so it's literally 3 nipples, 3 spokes, and then again you have to keep just, because these are so blooming tight, these holes, the nipples aren't just falling through like they should do normally, so it's just making life a little bit more awkward. As long as you get a couple of threads on there, you're fine. So again, thread through, crisscross over the one next to it, count 3 up from the last one, 1 2 3, and there you go. I will have to obviously go around this afterwards with the galvanised, because I've there is a fresh face of steel there now where I've taken off the nickel and the chrome coat in there. Let's do another one. In, crisscross over the one next to it, the innie. This is the outie. There's the old last outie I did. So 1 2 3, and that goes in the fourth hole. Like so. It's pretty much sort of like knitting, isn't it? You know, as long as you just remember how many, and so on and so forth. Okay, in, cross over, 1 2 3, fourth hole. Now you shouldn't have to bend these or stress them, but like I say, because these holes are quite tight, what you'll find is as you go round, and the more spokes you put in, the more central the wheel becomes, the easier these are. There you go, it's just freeing it up a little bit. The easier it is to lace. Now that was caught, that was caught, that one was caught. Right, there's one more for this side. There you go. So you cross over, last spoke, 1 2 3 in, and on the fourth hole. And again, now that's getting quite tight there, so I'm sure I can make a bit more space for it to go in by simply going around the rim. Come on, don't frick about just because I'm on camera. Winding that going in there. Come on, one of these is holding it all up. Just one. There we go. Do that one. There we go. 2, 3, 4. No, it's not having that, is it? Which one is it? That one? That one? If I bring the wheel up here, it should. I'm lifting the whole weight up. There we go. Up now, so that should. 1, 2, 3, 4. Should just slot in there, like so. Get back on the axle, you. A few turns of the screw of the nipple. Right, that's that side pretty much done. Let's swing it round. I like working from one side at a time. So we've already got the innies in. You see the innies are already in there. And now we're just going for the outies, which is pretty much an impossibility the other way around. So you, again, cross over that one. I think it's 5 between these now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and there it goes. There's the hole for it. And things will be falling into place quite nicely now, hopefully. It is awkward. It is a little bit fiddly. And there is a routine, you know, a way of doing it, but you have to do that way. Let's just do the 3 this time. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Holes already lined up. Lovely. See now, like I say, the more spokes you get in, the easier it becomes. There are lots of videos out there on YouTube about how to lace wheels, so on and so forth. Right, 1, 2, 3, spoke hole. See, they're starting to line up now, no problem. And I'm not going to lie to you, that was a faff from the word go with those holes I had to enlarge. Shouldn't really have to do that, should you, if you're buying parts for a certain bike and the spokes for a certain bike. Shouldn't really have to faff around with that, but there we are. Here's what it is. It is what it is. I'm going to come back to that one. Perhaps if I go in at an angle. There we go. That's better, isn't it? Crisscross over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spoke. Now I know this wheel is going to be an absolute bugger from start to finish. I just know it because I'm filming it. Yeah, even quality control technician agrees with me. Do you hear that? Let's go back to this one and go out from a different angle. There we go. Up and in, crisscross over, 3 holes from the last one. 1, 2, 3. There's the hole. There's the nipple. Blah de blah de blah. Well, I'm going to pause up there because there's another 3 or 4 or 5 to go. I'll do that and then we can start up with the getting the screws wound down. Bugger, I need a coffee. See, that's how you lace a wheel. All right. He's just checking, aren't you, boy? Right, okay, as you can see, I've got all the spokes in now. I've got to go around and do all the nipples up to an equal length all the way around, which should centralise it on the hub. Yes, I know, sweetheart. What's the matter? You're not feeling very well still, are you? He's having trouble with his back end, isn't he? Poor little fella. Look, oh, he's cuddling right into me here. Okay, I'm just having a quick fag break and might get a brew as well, and then we'll crack on. I'll tell you what, I wish now I'd opened them holes up to 7mm instead of 6.5. It's making my life a whole lot more tricky. The rear wheel that I did, when I bought those spokes off, those Chinese spokes off Tinterweb, yes, sweetheart, they came with thinner nipples which fitted in those holes perfectly. But there we are. I'm using the original spokes, original nipples on this new wheel rim, which does need modifying. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. I hope David Silver is aware of this. We'll rectify that in the future for future people to do this stuff, because otherwise it's pain in bottom. Yes. Even see, the thing is, even the spokes that they supply, the nipples don't fit through those holes. So just goes to show, doesn't it? Yes. What? Yeah. Right, we'll leave it there, and I'll yeah, I think he wants a walk or something. Alright, thanks for looking, let's carry on. Right, here we go. So I'm just now going to start to true the wheel up. When I first laced these, the threads on one side of the wheel were a lot longer than the threads on the other side of the wheel. So obviously when I spun the wheel around, it was going like this, and also going like that, so it was a complete and utter mess. Now it's just systematic really. You go around. Unfortunately these nipples are a flat head and it's really awkward, whereas last time with the rear wheel they had Phillips, and I had a Phillips bit in there, and I was it took literally 20 minutes. Anyway, this is the state of play so far. As you can see, laterally it's not too bad. There's a little bit of there, there, so because that's gone over there a bit, I need to you look at the wheel and you see the spokes which are on the right hand side, and you literally nip up the right hand side spokes just a bit. That one was fairly loose, so I'm just going to take up the slack. That one's very loose, just going to take up the slack, so on. That was very loose. They will start to centralise. That was very loose, but as you wind them down, you will see, oh that was extremely loose, you will see that things start falling into place, and that's a lot better, isn't it? Is that in line with the camera? I hope so. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a dip there, a little bit of a dip, dip, dip. So this is low, so that side is high, so therefore that side needs to be wound down a bit. So we go around 180 degrees to here, and I'll literally do all spokes, just nip them up, make sure there's nothing. You're just taking up that slack in every spoke. If it's tight, leave it. If it's loose, just bite it up. Crikey. Loosey-loo, just nip them up and go back the other way, because you don't want to just keep going around in circles, otherwise you create a problem. Just nip them up. I'm going to do 6 or 7 spokes back this way, just nipping them. Yeah, that is tight already, so that's fine. Nip that one up, nip that up, that's tight, that's tight. A little bit of nipping. Right, let's see what we got now. It's just starting to dance again a little bit. There. It does help sometimes to have a black marker pen. Just put a mark on the inside of the rim where you think it is, so you get it pretty much exact. Now I need to pull the wheel back over this way a bit, the rim, so I'll just tighten up the left hand spokes, 5 or 6 each way. That one's okay. Not touching the right hand spokes at all. Let's go back this way. It is, as you get nearer completion, it is minute. That was loose. It is literally minute adjustments. I hope you can hear me alright, because I'm miles away from the camera. But just turn the volume up. I don't think Kev's going to make an appearance today, so don't worry about it. Sorry, Kev. Let's pulling it back up. We've still got a little bit of giddy up. So low, low, low. That's low. This side's low. So 180 degrees. This side is obviously high, so I'm just going to check all the spokes evenly. Just nip them. They will become loose as you tighten them and go around the wheel. you'll tighten one side, the other side will loosen up again, and so on and so forth. There's a bit of an art to it. I'm still learning. I love lacing wheels. I absolutely love it. There's such job satisfaction at the end of it. Like I say, it's much easier with a Phillips screwdriver. Tight, 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 tight. Okay, let's give that a whirl. Okay, so I'm now going to do the right hand spokes where I think it needs doing. Just nipping them up. Now for an MOT, for spoked wheels, I think the offset play is, I think it's 3mm, something like that. Now 3mm is absolutely flipping cavernous, isn't it? And when I did my CB100N spokes, see, that's quite loose. You see how they keep freeing up as you go round? That's what takes the time, because you're never 100% on it until everyone is exactly the same sort of hand torque, if you like, and you just keep going around until you find it. It's starting to dance again, isn't it? Left hand ones. See, that one's gone loose again, hence it going out of shape. That one is winding right in. You see, it's all truing up now. The tension's starting to apply. Where's the new one? There it is. And you'll find that all of a sudden you're there. You'll never be exact. Let's use a machine. I am not a machine, believe it or not. That's high, so this needs to go down a bit. Let's do all spokes in this area to try and pull. The thing is, if you get it about right to start with, that's half of it cracked, isn't it? Because if it's really elongated, you've not just got to tighten up spokes, you've got to loosen off the opposite side. And then you've got to, you know, is it the left ones that are loosened or the right ones? You know, it's a bit of a science, but there we are. That's what takes the time. That's getting there. Got a little bit of a kink. Again, you can set up. There. Let's tighten up the left-hand ones. They're pretty tight, to be fair. So, what's going on? Oh, that one's loose. What's going on there is I may have to loosen off. To gain a bit of left, you tighten up the left-hand spokes. If they're all tight, you literally loosen up the right-hand ones. Just a fraction, just to give that, and then you nip them all up so they're all equal. Sorry this is going on a little bit, this video, but you did want to know how to do it, and it is time consuming. So there. You don't want to be going down the road like a clown bike, do you? Up that side, up that side, up that side. It's up there. So it's up there. And you tighten up 180 degrees away from it on the right hand side. So again, these are turning quite freely again. See how it opens it all up? Just do a little bit, don't have to go mad. Never use great big armfuls of spanner either, just take it easy. Pull, pull. Left hand. Go and make a brew and then come back in half an hour, should be alright. So we're getting somewhere near it. I'm still not happy with that ridge, it's like that, isn't it? Which says to me that these are too tight, so I'm going to loosen them off a bit. You can't, if they go tight, see, there's no play, is there? So you have to just unadjust again. Let's unadjust these few. That's too tight for a start. Let's unadjust these few and go back this way. Yeah, he's too tight. Let's unadjust that one a bit. And that one. And that one. That one. Right, let's see what we've got now. It's a little bit better. So now I should be able to tighten up the left hand ones a bit now, as I've slackened off the right. You see what I mean? High, high, high. There's a definite ridge there. As you can see, it's where the weld is. That's the difference between a genuine rim and a non-genuine rim. Just makes life a little bit harder. If you want to spend that extra money, make your life easier, do that. I don't do that. I make myself life harder for myself. So this is high. I need to try and pinch this down. I can see where it is because there's a seam there. And again, this is a whole lot easier with Phillips screws. Whole lot easier. It's a bit better. Again, there's the seam. I could see it was there. Let's wind that one in a bit. Where are we? There. Hi ho, fiddly dee. A loose one. But that's not. That's not too bad. Right, let's start pinching these up a bit. Just fine tuning now, isn't it? Just fine tuning. See where it was high there? These ones are loose. Just goes to show, doesn't it? It's a tiny bit. There. See? See, it's going off again. The more I'm playing with it, the more it's going off. Well, I'm going to end that session there. Have a bit of a tinkle with it. See, otherwise, my memory's going to be full of me phone flipping it. I need a workbench. Hi ho, fiddly dee. Right. Had a bit of a play. Saved you lot guys about 15 minutes of boredom. And yeah, that's not too bad at all. Well within the MOT tolerances. So I'm just going to find the valve hole. There it is. I'm just going to go round. Just feel very gently if there's anything tighter or looser than any other spoke. It's all about feel, isn't it? Stop it at the back, for goodness sake. It's something that you kind of have a feel for. You learn it, I guess. I don't know. It's like a lot of guys say about torque settings and all that kind of thing. Yes, I suppose there are tolerances and guides and figures for certain bolts and whatnot. But if it's not cylinder head bolts, it's easy to, you know what you're screwing up. If you're screwing into alloy, or you know you don't give it great beans because you're going to strip threads and that kind of thing. Just nipping that round. That's quite tight, 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 tight. Little bit, tiny bit, tiny bit. Righto. That is pretty good, isn't it? Okay, and the final test is the spoke sound test, isn't it? So, by the way, I've changed screwdriver. That one was just too small for my shovels, and I just couldn't get any purchase on it. And I used that because of the width of the head there on the flat head. You can't use a little tiny flat head because it will just gnarl things up. I found these Powerfix Lidl's German make, and they're chisel screwdrivers, so the metal shaft runs right through, and you can use them to do all sorts of things that a screwdriver's not supposed to be, wasn't designed to do. Anyway, there we go. So that's the screwdriver I've been using. So let's give it a bit of a tinkle. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Right, let's do the individual. Let's tighten that one up a little bit. A bit more. I don't know what it is, but the innies seem to sound duller than the outies. Oh, it's quite shy. It's literally just pinching it. None of them are loose, as you can hear. If they were loose, you'd hear a duh. As long as they're within a certain pitch, you're good to go. Do 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 top cat. Well, I reckon that's pretty much it, don't you? That is good and true. There's a tiny little bit of kink, but the more you play with these things, the worse they get. And the screws are all tight, so I can't ask any more from that wheel. I think that's good to go. I'm going to galve around this seam now. Where's the hole? Because I don't want to spray through the hole, do I? Let's give that a bit of a galve. Just stops that horrible rust setting in there. Just gives the wheel half a chance to live a long and natural life. Let's go back around the rim with my oily rag. Let's go around there just to tidy that up. You know, I've always thought about, you know, okay, you've got your wheel rim tape on there, but it doesn't stop water getting in, does it? Not really. It's just there to stop any protrusions from the ends of the spokes going into the inner tube. That's good to go. There's nothing on the outside of the rim. So that wheel, I'm going to give that 15-20 minutes. The gas mark 4. Just to dry off. Oh shit, don't you dare. No. Okay, if you're going to fanny around, go up there. And then I'm going to put the wheel, take the rim tapes on. They're easy enough to do, just align the hole with the valve hole. Here's the rear one I did earlier. Proper Blue Peter style. That is jolly good. That is pretty much spot on. I'm really happy with that. I did that weeks and weeks ago, didn't I? Right, let's give this a bit of galve. Just an even spray. Keep it going. The thing about this galve spray, I absolutely love it. It's so quick drying. It's mad. I did the frame yesterday with it. I took the frame back down to metal, pretty much 90%, and I galved it. I had about 4 cans of this stuff, and I smacked it on. And you can see when you put acid etch primer on, it kind of fizzes on contact with the metal. This stuff does the same thing. It's absolutely brilliant. You can see where this wheel is being just stood in the shed whilst I've been spraying. I tried to cover it up. One day I went in there, did some parts cleaner work, knocked the covers off of this wheel, and it's got all sorts of nasty overspray, that dust that was in the air all over the rim now. But this oily rag is making light work of that, so that's all good. Look at that. Right guys and girls, that just about wraps it up. In a second, when this video carries on, you will see the rim tapes on, and I will then get in my car and I will go down and see my mate Trevor from is it TRV or TVR tyres just outside of Andover. The guy is a diamond. He's absolutely brilliant with bike tyres and car tyres and all sorts of tyres, and he's a really fair price as well. So there you go, Trev, giving you a bit of a poke there. A punt even. Right, okay, that's enough of that stuff. That's Galva Plus spray. That's done. I'll give that a good 10 minutes. Time to go and have a brew. I'm happy with that. They're trued up. And it's looking good, isn't it? Right, okay. Catch you in a bit. Oh, me knees. I'm getting too old for all this nonsense.